Family Guy premiered in 1999 as Seth MacFarlane's controversial animated sitcom that pushed every boundary imaginable. What started as a simple parody of American family life quickly evolved into a satirical masterpiece using shock humor to expose humanity's darkest impulses. Today, we are looking at Family Guy characters as the 7 deadly sins. Coming in at number 7, we have Carter Pewterschmidt representing greed. Carter Pewterschmidt is so consumed by greed that he refuses to pay ransom for his own daughter's kidnapping. Carter Pewterschmidt, Lois's father, is a personification of greed. When Quahog legalized marijuana and his profits took a hit, he manipulated Brian into campaigning to make weed illegal again, dangling the promise of publishing Brian's book. The book flopped, weed stayed banned, and Carter got his cash flow back. A win for Carter, a loss for everyone else. His greed doesn't spare family. Lois recalls being kidnapped during high school while Carter refused to pay the ransom. He offered Peter $1 million not to marry Lois simply because he didn't want Peter as a son-in-law. Nothing says loving father like valuing money over your daughter's happiness. Carter even owns a massive billion-dollar company with fingers in everything from pharmaceuticals to media, using his wealth as a weapon to control everyone around him. At number 6, we examine Brian Griffin and his insufferable pride. Brian Griffin genuinely believes he's intellectually superior to everyone around him, despite consistently proving the opposite. Brian's pride manifests as an insufferable superiority complex that colors every interaction. When he publishes his mediocre self-help book, Brian compares himself to John Lennon and treats friends like servants. He hires Stewie as his publicist, then blows up at him for booking a back table instead of a front one, driving off and leaving Stewie on the sidewalk. He looks down on others while making hypocritical choices and failing to live up to his own stated values. His pride convinces him he's more sophisticated and deserving than everyone around him. As the family's self-appointed voice of reason and culture, Brian uses his supposed moral and intellectual superiority to mask his glaring shortcomings and failures. Moving to number 5, we reveal Meg Griffin's destructive envy. Meg Griffin is so desperate for acceptance that she'll betray her family members for a fleeting moment of social approval. Meg is the perfect embodiment of envy, and honestly, who can blame her? As the Griffin family's perpetual punching bag, Meg's envy stems from desperately craving basic respect and acceptance that everyone else receives effortlessly. The moment she gets a chance to fit in with popular kids, she ditches Chris faster than Peter chugs beer. Meg's envy is tragically relatable. She's constantly striving for validation in a world that delights in making her miserable. Instead of focusing on self-improvement, her envy leads her to tear others down or manipulate situations for personal gain. When the most popular girl in school sets her sights on Chris, Meg can't just be happy for her brother. She tries making it all about herself and how it'll boost her popularity. The show uses Meg's envy to highlight the destructive cycle this sin creates. At number 4, we showcase Stewie Griffin's terrifying wrath. Stewie Griffin is the only toddler in television history who responds to family vacation exclusion by attempting global domination. Stewie is wrath incarnate, a baby toddler with emotions but military strategist capabilities. Stewie's wrath typically targets his mother Lois, but extends to anyone who crosses him or fails to meet his impossibly high standards. When excluded from a family cruise, Stewie attempts matricide with a machine gun, shoots Lois dead, then holds his family hostage when she survives. His complaints are absolutely ridiculous. Last week, when I made that macaroni picture of an owl, you didn't give a damn that was an owl. Stewie's wrath doesn't stop there. He sneaks into CIA headquarters, takes command of the planet's power grid, and declares himself world president. His wrath reflects the narcissistic rage that consumes people when their sense of superiority is challenged. His intellectual superiority complex means any perceived slight isn't just annoying, it's a fundamental identity attack requiring overwhelming force. Even poor Cleveland isn't safe from Stewie's devastating anger. Coming in at number 3, we dive into Chris Griffin's pathetic sloth. Chris Griffin would rather live with a known predator than do basic household chores. That's sloth at its most pathetic level. Chris's sloth goes beyond being a couch potato. It's his willingness to take the path of least resistance, even when that path leads to genuinely disturbing situations. When Meg catches Chris stealing money and gives him simple tasks to stay quiet, Chris decides he won't put that much work into anything. But he can't let Meg tell their parents about the stealing either. Chris's solution? Live with Herbert the pervert rather than complete Meg's list. He's so lazy he'd rather live with Quahog's resident sex offender than do a few chores. The tragic aspect of Chris's sloth is that it stems from low self-esteem and learned helplessness, making it both cause and effect of life's disappointments. Even when opportunities for self-improvement arise, Chris consistently chooses comfort over growth, cementing his place as the Griffin family's least motivated member. At number 2, we expose Peter Griffin's all-consuming gluttony. Peter Griffin doesn't just overeat. He consumes everything in life with reckless abandon that destroys everyone around him. Peter represents gluttony in its purest form, demonstrating how this sin extends far beyond simple overeating. Peter's gluttony encompasses food, alcohol, attention, and instant gratification. When offered lifetime free burgers after saving the Burgertown owner's life, he doesn't just enjoy them, he binges on 30 burgers until having a literal stroke in the restaurant. He skips medical physicals to devour 7 16-ounce steaks with the boys, 7 pounds of beef in one sitting. His true weakness is alcohol, which leads him to land a job at the Pawtucket Brewery, where he treats it like his personal all-you-can-drink buffet. In a clever Charlie and the Chocolate Factory parody, Peter finds the silver scroll for brewery tours, but sneaks into forbidden rooms seeking beer that never goes flat. His gluttony for attention creates extreme stunts and outrageous behavior, while his need for immediate pleasure consistently destroys relationships and responsibilities. Peter's excessive consumption creates a domino effect of chaos that devastates everyone around him. And finally, at number 1, we confront Glenn Quagmire's disturbing embodiment of pure lust. Glenn Quagmire is the human embodiment of sexual obsession taken to its most disturbing extreme. This one's practically gift-wrapped for us. Quagmire's entire personality revolves around unchecked sexual desires that drives every decision he makes. He's obsessed with Lois to the point of marrying her in alternate timelines, immediately pursued Meg the moment she turned 18, and sleeps with his best friend's wives without a second thought about consequences. This single man probably accounts for 90% of the lust in Quahog. What makes Quagmire the perfect representation of lust isn't just his impressive body count or signature giggity catchphrase. It's how his lustful nature completely overrides basic human decency and common sense. His cabin in the woods has disturbing and creepy features, he shows complete disregard for consent, and he's utterly unable to form genuine emotional connections. Finding a tied-up cheerleader in a bathroom stall, he reacted with, "Dear Diary, jackpot." The show uses Quagmire's lust for both shock value and dark comedy, but what's truly disturbing is how it reveals the destructive nature of this sin. On The Bachelorette, despite the woman being interested in him, he still spiked her drink and dragged her to his room. Quagmire is so allergic to consent that Lois simply telling him she trusted him was enough to completely kill his mood. He's banged his friends' wives, directly causing his best friend's divorce, yet somehow he's still welcome at the Drunken Clam every night. What's remarkable about Family Guy is how it takes these fundamental human flaws and turns them into sources of both comedy and chaos. Each character represents their sins so completely that they become walking cautionary tales wrapped in cartoon absurdity. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Family Guy's morally questionable characters, make sure to subscribe for more cartoon commentary and hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest videos.